the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on a Monday morning. We're glad that you've joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz podcast and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Happy Monday, Faith. Good to see you. Feel like I just saw you 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, good morning. Happy Monday.
Yep, glad to get another week started. Auburn is 3-0, and hey, can't be any better than that. Played 3 games, have 3 wins, but now here comes big boy time. SEC play is on tap. We will head to Oklahoma this week, and when I say we, me and you, Auburn's heading there too. So Auburn heading to Oklahoma to take on the Sooners, and both teams moved up in the polls. Auburn now number 22. We'll go through the AP poll here in a minute. And then we'll talk about the Sooners. We'll talk about the game this past Saturday, kind of some thoughts. We had a lot of people watching our post-game reaction show brought to you by Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, and we really appreciate that. We have a lot of fun with that. So I am ready for it to cool off a little bit, though.
Oh, my gosh. It was so hot. You and I were talking about it. I thought we were going to cramp up out there. Good Lord.
Heat was beating down. For anybody that missed the post-game show, you can obviously go back and watch it, but another shout out to you. You had a cool experience in the second half, getting to be with Alyssa Lane for sideline duties. And so sideline reporter in training. How about that?
I hope so. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. You know, she doesn't have to do that. And so for her to take that time out and let me have that opportunity to shadow her was awesome. And I'm really grateful for that.
Yes. Really, really cool person. Glad I got to meet her too. And she does a really, really, really good job. And she's a good one to model. Model for sure. So, all right, let's dive into this game from Saturday. Auburn over South Alabama, 31-15. The first thing I want to say is I think you and I both agreed that, and it stood out to both of us. You said something to me at one point in time, and then I kind of made mention to it as well, that we both felt like Jackson Arnold had taken another step. And, you know, not necessarily – do you look at stats and tell the whole tale of how somebody played, although he was fine. His stats were fine. But you and I both noticed how he really was going through his progressions. And if the first option wasn't there, then the second one and then the third one. I remember one pass he completed to Perry Thompson, and Perry was his third He was his third option. Now, it was very, very clear. And so credit the offensive line for giving him some time to do that, and credit Jackson Arnold for being able to go through that calmly and going, okay, I didn't take my first deal. It's not there. I'm going to take off and run, because a guy like him that has the ability to scramble, a lot of times they will go ahead and do that maybe a little bit too soon. So that was impressive to me.
Yeah, that was something that we were talking about on the sideline, just something that maybe we haven't seen from some of the Auburn quarterbacks in the past, in the recent years, and security in your quarterbacks, just him scanning the field, knowing, okay, if there isn't something available, maybe he's not going to take it, or he's not going to be too quick to just throw it out to the side. The only thing I can say is maybe we're still not seeing him throw it in the middle of the field. It is those sideline passes. But that's about it on that part of it.
I can remember him completing over the middle was maybe a couple to Singleton.
Yeah.
When he was, I remember them coming toward the end zone with the new Jumbotron, and there were a couple of times where Eric Singleton was open in the middle of the field. He was able to hit him, but for the most part, yeah, it's a lot of swing passes. I mean, only 13 completions on only 24 attempts. And so not a lot of possessions for Auburn in that game. Coach Freeze talked about that. They did a good job of keeping, possession of the football. They won the time of possession. South Alabama did. Auburn, again, could not get off the field on 3rd and 4th down. That was a problem. I mean, when you look at it, 7 times they converted 3rd, and 3 out of 4 they converted 4th. So that's 10 drives that Auburn could have gotten off the field that they didn't get off the field. So, and I think that was out of 17 attempts when you add up the 4th down and the 3rd down. So 10 out of 17 for South Alabama, and that is going to be a problem in SEC play if you cannot get off the field.
That's exactly right, Brett. Watching just some of the games this weekend after our game, Auburn is going to struggle if they can't get off the field, or even just having success in some of those not gimme plays, but there are just excuse me, there are times though that Auburn should be getting a first down or able to make completions. We saw a lot of times, or a few times on Saturday, Preston Howard getting targeted and the ball just going right through his fingers.
I sure touched
one of them I know was in the red zone, or it was going to be a touchdown, but that can't happen against an SEC team.
No, it can't, because Auburn went right back and ran the football and scored a touchdown. But when you're playing Oklahoma, or when you're playing Texas A&M, and we'll go through these games here in just a minute, but I thought this was a neat stat. Well, I don't know if it's neat or not. It's a stat that you're going to have to look at if you're Auburn, especially defensively. Auburn's next 3 opponents, what they did Saturday, they threw for 282, 360, and 304. I saw somebody else tweet that out too. But I went ahead and looked down the line. Obviously, we know that Auburn has Oklahoma, Texas A&M off week, and then Georgia. But those 3, Marcel Reed, obviously for Texas A&M, had a good night against Notre Dame. They win that football game. That was a big win for Mike Elko. It seems like they always are on the wrong end of those kind of games. They were in Auburn last year. We unfortunately you and I watched Tennessee and Georgia, most of it together. We both about threw up. But Gunnar Stockton, look, not great, but enough to do what he had to do. I mean, let's be honest. And so,
if the defense can look like the defense we saw in the preseason and be able to get aggressive and put pressure on Gunnar Stockton, and this is just because I'm cutting in now while you're in the middle of talking, but he's going to be somebody that Auburn will be able to get him to make mistakes once he's under pressure like that. The defense will be able to go in there, frazzle him, and he will be able to create his own mistakes.
That's the hope. That for sure.
Well, you see it against some of the other teams that they've been playing, and he gets pressure on him, and he kind of freaks out and frazzles out. And
he's 54 years old. Give him a break. I'm sorry. I mean, God. I mean, is this how long's he been in school? I mean, I hate to be that way. I'm sorry. I need to stop. Okay. But you're right that the keys up front. Now, when we talked about it last week, Auburn, they were leading the country or leading the SEC in a lot of great categories against the run. They were number 2 in the country in sacks, only behind Air Force. And so I think the pressure up front has been fine. What I'm concerned with is the middle to back end of the defense. And that is we all were concerned about the linebackers because there were so many unknowns. not a lot of experience on the field, not a lot of, continuity because you ain't played together, just for lack of better terms. What we weren't concerned about coming out of camp was the secondary. We were like, man, this is unbelievable. Like, this is going to be such a shutdown, lockdown, most physical secondary we've ever had. I mean, we were throwing around Carlos Rogers and Dadgum. I mean, we were throwing names around that of guys that have won, the Thorpe Award and stuff like that, and comparing them to Brian Robinson and Ken Alvis. And, I can keep going. I mean, we just have been rattling off all these unbelievable secondary guys. And then you get in the season, it's like, I personally, standing at Baylor with you on the sideline about midway through the third quarter, and my phone had gotten the 800th text going, what have y'all been watching at practice? Is this what you've been telling me has been so good? This secondary that can't tackle anybody, and they damn sure can't cover anybody. Is this what you've been going to practice and watching every day? And I'm sitting there going, I'm sick of this. I'm pissed off now. I'm pissed at Auburn secondary because they make me look bad. And so I was like
we have no credibility here.
Exactly. And then it's like, well, we're not real sure if Jackson Arnold's going to be able to get it done. And he comes out and looks like a damn All-American. It's like, are y'all even going to practice? Like, everything you said has been directly opposite. So I'm like, okay, so I immediately got pissed at the secondary going, thanks, guys, for making us look like we don't do anything all week when we're going on 2 hours of sleep in 5 days. So, but again, it is really weird, because if you would have told me to bet on one position group, which one would I have taken? I would have taken the secondary, and I'd have been a big loser. I would have lost everything, because I would have said, oh, that's a sure bet. Everybody go bet your mortgage, man. This secondary. But I looked down, and we played a bunch of freshmen. I know we didn't have we didn't have Rayshawn in there. I know that some other guys were banged up, but we've been talking about Caleb Harris, and we've been talking about Anquan Fagans, and we've been talking about Eric Winters, and Eric Winters actually had a pretty good game. He had 5 tackles.
He did have a good game.
He's starting to really but our corners, Kay and Lee, where's Kay and Lee at? He had 1 tackle.
Yeah, Kay and Lee.
Where's
Jay Crawford.
Jay Crawford.
You were saying that Jay Crawford was going to be the man.
Keyron's the man.
Keyron's the man.
Jay
Crawford.
Caleb Harris did have a good game. He had 8 tackles. But again, there were when you look at the stats for South Alabama, I mean, they're nothing impressive as far as, but I was impressed with Bishop Davenport. I mean, he was efficient, 18 to 26. They had a lot of say. I told you on the post-game show that I thought Major Applewhite called a really good game. I thought he prepared well. And again, Auburn got out to a big lead, and they kind of went into, like Coach Free said, maybe a sleepwalk mode, kind of like me and you feel right now, sleepwalking. But that's really what it was. So I'm not going to continue to pound this. I just think that, Georgia, they didn't do much against Austin Peay. That was a very unimpressive game. And then going on the road to Tennessee, they proved you can't really tell a lot from some of those games, because you don't know how much coaches want to put into a game plan for a team like Austin Peay or South Alabama or whatever. So you can't really judge that on how Auburn's going to go play on Saturday in Norman, Oklahoma. At least I hope not.
We just want to see more from Auburn.
So maybe we will see more from Auburn Saturday. It's going to have to be more from Auburn Saturday.
If it's not more, we are going to have wasted our time going to Norman, Oklahoma to cover this game. I'm serious. We could have just watched it from home.
You've had so much positivity over the last week. I hope it's not waning with exhaustion, is all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, okay, I guess whatever. That might be
That was
negative.
a very nice statement, by the way. I'm just saying I hope your positivity is not waning because of exhaustion, because we are tired.
It's just we've watched the same thing, and we're about to get into SEC play where it is going to be – we're going to see difficult –
It's a perfect time to talk about our partners. We'll talk about Sense Green. We'll come back to this. Sense Green.
Wait, I have to pull it up. Sense Green. For air that's cool and clean, call on Sense Green. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama. Stay cool and clean this fall. During dollar days, call Sense Green for major discounts on HVAC repairs and installs, plus installation with Professor Greenbacks. Get HVAC Smart at sensagreen.com through Thanksgiving with up to $100 off, HVAC repairs, $500 off, installation work, and up to $1,500 off a new HVAC system. Sensagreen with Carrier, turn to the experts. How cool are these coupons?
Very cool. How about Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm in Birmingham, Alabama, working with municipalities, educational institutions, bunch of great people, man. And they are the ones that will take care of your project, take care of you, make sure it's done correctly. You're spending that kind of money. You got to have a program management firm to make sure it's done correctly. So don't take my advice. Call Scout Program Management. Check them out yourself. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. I just know it was packed during the game and after the game on Saturday. So
Especially looking at all those Jell-O shots.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They've got $1 or they had $1 Jell-O shots all day. So I'm sure they're going to have that again this upcoming Saturday. So while we're in Norman, Oklahoma, go over to Bunkers and watch the game in downtown Auburn. So fun, great environment. They have more seating now. So go over there and enjoy Bunkers.
Absolutely. Let's end on a positive note. Jeremiah Cobb, 119 yards rushing on 19 carries. Jackson Arnold with 50 yards on 10 carries. Got to see some Omar Mapson. He got 5 carries for 13 yards. Eric Singleton on some speed sweep type stuff. Got 3 carries for 15. The running game's still there. No Damari Alston. No Darrell Robinson. Don't know what the length of time on Darrell will be, but I assume Damari Alston will be back this week. Ready to go. We did not see Malcolm Simmons in the game. Coach Free said he could have played if he needed to. Rayshawn Pleasant probably could have played if he needed to, but there was no need to play him in this game. So Eric Singleton led in receptions, 6 catches, 65 yards, had a good game. Cam finally got on the board with a score. 2 catches, 49 yards. I'm not going to go back into what we talked about in the post-game show. Y'all go back and watch that. That rant is over. Horatio Fields, 2 catches, 20 yards. And then, spread out. Perry had 1. Omar had 1. Bryce had 1. So that's your 13 completions there. Special teams continues to be fine. Just the top 5 guys in tackles for Auburn. Caleb Harris with 8, Robert Woodyard with 5, Kieron with 5, Eric Winters with 5, and Rayon Strader with 4. And then coming in right behind them is Kildred Fault with 3. So there you go. Did we have any sacks? Jared Smith obviously had 1, and he forced a fumble. That was a big play. Another positive coming out of this game, Faith, is you got a bunch of young guys in there. Had a bunch of them in there playing, building depth, getting experience. So there's some positive.
Yeah, during those crucial moments. Another positive, Alex McPherson is going back a couple yards each field goal attempt that he's getting in for. So that's good. Hopefully he is going to stay healthy and be able to gain some more weight back and or at least maintain the weight he's at. But that's a very important positive from Auburn.
No question about it. I'm glad you brought that up. Hudson Cock had 2 punts for 88 yards, so he averaged 44 a kick. Nothing wrong with that. You got to have you don't want to punt, but if you got to punt, you got to have a guy that can swing field position. So that's positive too. So Auburn moves on to Oklahoma next Saturday, or this coming up Saturday, rather. Should be a fun one. Oklahoma.
What are your concerns going into Oklahoma?
Our secondary. I mean, you've got – let's just kind of look at this, and we'll talk about it all week, but you've got John Mateer that he's passed for almost 1,000 yards already. I mean, he's thrown for 944. He's 71 of 105, 5 TDs. Now he's thrown 3 picks. That's a little bit high for 3 games. Obviously, he's averaging a pick a game. So, but he's going to sling it around. And when you look at from a running back standpoint, Blaylock leads them in rushing with 166 yards, but they're really an aerial attack type team. And when you got Mateer as your quarterback, they're going to try to, and after looking at the film for the first few weeks on Auburn, you definitely know they're going to go and try to exploit the secondary. So, they're going to complete passes, Faith, but here's the deal. Auburn's got to be able to tackle in open field. When you throw a 7-yard hitch and you miss the tackle, it becomes a 20-yard play instead of a 7-yard play. So, again, yards after contact, yards after catch are very important. And we have struggled with that, not as much against Ball State because Ball State sucks. Okay, let's just say that. They suck. Take them out. But against South Alabama that was decent, and, of course, Baylor, we struggled with getting guys on the ground. So tackling has got to be a point of emphasis, and you can't blow coverages, man. You just cannot blow coverages against – he will make you pay. Like Oklahoma's offense sucked last year when they came to Auburn, and they still found a way to win. But they've got a different guy back there this year. He's a guy that a lot of people feel like is the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. So this is a number 11 ranked team in their place at 2:30, and this is still a game that they feel like they've got something to prove to their fan base too. They're like, okay, the fans in Oklahoma are like, okay, you beat Michigan, I get it. But y'all were terrible in SEC play last year, and we need to see what Brent Venables can do against a team coming in here that they should beat. And I'm just saying that Oklahoma says they're thinking we need to win this game. Auburn's thinking the same thing. They're thinking the same thing. So, but Oklahoma's still their fans still sitting out there going, hey, we ain't all bought in yet.
Yeah. So something else to note for Oklahoma's defense, their DN, Mason Thomas, will be out for the first half against Auburn because of the targeting penalty he had in the second half against Temple. And so
that's a big loss for them, by the way.
Yeah. So looking on that positive side of what Auburn's game plan can be to, maybe use that to their advantage in that first half. And, it is about finishing the game on that positive side, if that makes sense, because Auburn does happen to go out there and have a stronger first half than second half. And look at the Oklahoma game last year, for example, of the strong energy and a force to be reckoned with in the first half. And then you get to that second half, and that's where things shifted. So
Mateer he's the imps of Jackson Arnold, and Jackson Arnold's the imps of him. They both like to run the football. Against Michigan, he had 74 yards rushing. He led the team in rushing. He also threw for 270. That's who Jackson Arnold wants, or who Auburn wants Jackson Arnold to be. And I think he's moving in the right direction, but we're going to see two of the better dual threat quarterbacks in this league against each other on Saturday. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Both are not afraid to run the football. Both like to run the football. But also when things are there through the air, they will take advantage of it. They are both truly dual threat quarterbacks. So that's going to be, and we'll talk about that more as the week progresses, as we get closer to that, and break down some more of these matchups that we'll watch and some things like that. But, really, they beat Illinois State 35-3 in the first game. I mean, who cares? They beat Michigan 24-13, and Michigan's offense sucks. I'll just go ahead and say it. Michigan's 1-1. Let's go back and look at Michigan real quick in that game and look at what they were able to do. Bryce Underwood was horrific. 9 of 24 passing for 140 yards. No TDs, no interceptions, just basically did nothing. I'm gonna throw 9 passes out here, and then none of them gonna have any impact on anything that goes on in this game. Nothing. Okay. Justice Haynes, who Alabama fans should know, 19 carries, 125 yards. Now, they did run the football. That is positive. If you're looking for something to take out of that Michigan-Oklahoma game for Auburn to lean on, is that you mean they had a back go for 125 and 19 carries? We can do that. It's the mentality of Auburn. Auburn's going, we can do that. And when you look at their coaching staff, if Damari Alston's back healthy and you get Jeremiah Cobb doing what he's doing, Auburn can run one guy or two guys for that. And Justice Haynes averaged 6.6 yards a carry and had a touchdown. So there's some opportunities there for Auburn when you look at that. If Auburn can go in and control the line of scrimmage, Faith, and they can control it running the football, that takes pressure off Jackson Arnold, and Auburn can control the pace of the game. Now, on the flip side of that, you can't turn the ball over, and you can't let Oklahoma just run up and down the field and when I mean run up and down the field, I mean literally like throwing and running and just have everything off balance. And it starts with your secondary. I know everybody goes, well, no, it really starts with your defensive line. I'm not worried about the defensive line. I think Auburn's defensive line is going to do what they've been doing, and they're going to be fine. I think what Auburn fans need to be worried about is what's going to go on the backside of the defense. Are they going to be up to par against maybe the best quarterback Auburn's going to face? We said this about Sawyer Robertson, and he may end up being the best quarterback. But John Mateer, you may see both of these guys, Faith, in New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I'll just put it that way.
Well, if you think that Jackson Arnold can keep up with John Mateer, then that means you think maybe –
I got to see it. I got to see Jackson Arnold put up some numbers. And I know he did it against Ball State, but I'm going to go back and say again, we're taking that out. Just like I'm going to take Illinois State out for Oklahoma. Go throw for 270 against Oklahoma, and then we'll start talking about that. So I think Jackson's got about 500 and something yards passing on the season. John Mateer's almost doubled that already in 3 games. So we'll see.
That's just where we're at this point of saying that you and I both have still not seen what has been expected from Auburn's offense and defense.
Right.
So far in the year. 3-0, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, nobody's complaining.
Right. But we still are yet to see the numbers, the defense, even play up to what we said going into the season.
Right.
And so, again, just I don't know how many times we said it in the beginning or the preseason of – I'm trying to find the right words – of the preseason of on this roster, if you look at the roster, Auburn has a – can I help you?
It's so fun. Go ahead.
I'm just done talking.
But
no.
You laughing.
I'm done talking.
No, tonight. Just keep going. Just keep going. I'm listening.
I'm
done. Keep going.
I don't have anything else to say.
Come on now.
I've already lost my train of thought.
All right. Well, then let's shift over and talk about the AP poll. Auburn has moved up a few spots. They are at number 22. So, how many SEC teams now? And I've got a couple of things I do want to throw at you to kind of get your reaction. But moving up to 22, obviously Oklahoma 11. What else stands out to you in this AP poll?
11 SEC teams. What stands out to me is that Georgia Tech is ranked above us. And that's just, again, being from Georgia, it's hard to see Georgia Tech.
Hell, Georgia Tech, Georgia, everybody.
I mean, just being from Georgia, it is so hard to see Georgia Tech be ranked above Auburn right now. So, in Vanderbilt being at 20.
How good did they look?
Oh my gosh.
South Carolina's back to being South Carolina again, everybody, by the way. How good does Miami look? I know that's not an SEC team, but how good does Miami look right now?
Carson Beck, man.
He got the heck out of Georgia, and he said, I'm going to go on down to South Florida.
And then his girlfriend broke up with him, and he said, to heck with my ex-girlfriend. I'm going to show her.
Exactly. So he hadn't slowed him down. I know you don't want to talk about this, but Georgia with us, they squeaked that out against Tennessee in overtime. But Tennessee, man, they blew that.
Yeah.
I mean, just a terrible ending to regulation. So Miami, they're the surprise team to me so far. I think everybody kind of felt like they were going to be good. And LSU, like Brian Kelly lost his mind in the press conference.
Oh my gosh.
If
that was me, I would have died.
I don't think the guy was not out of line. I mean,
I think he was asking a complete
me, Faith, and God help all of us, me and you, in that press conference. If somebody rears back at me after I ask a question, my mentality. It may be my last presser. Because
if you're asking a question that you deserve the answer to.
I'm not going to sit there and be berated by a coach when the guy said, what's going on, run the football, and Brian Kelly says something stupid like,
well, he said, what about the last play of the game?
Last play of the game? Well, who gives a crap? Dude, you ran for
what about the last
Florida?
Yeah, what about the other, I don't know, however many plays you had prior to the last play of the game?
Right. Here's my point on that. Not that I'm going to go irate in a press conference. My point is, if you ask a legitimate question that can be answered, don't look at somebody and go, we're 3-0 and we just won the game. We did what we had to do to win the game. You look like crap against a pretty crappy team. It's what you did. And the guy's going, are you concerned about running the football? And he's like, no, we can run the football. Well, no, obviously you can't, because you look at the stats and it clearly tells you can't run the football. Okay, so you fired off at the guy because you're pissed off, because deep down inside, you can't run the football. And so you blame it on the dang guy asking and doing his job. So now if you ask some dumb question, some stupid question, some idiotic something to a guy, I would expect to get raked over the coals. That's different. But when you ask a legitimate question, are you concerned with your offense after you just won by 10 over Florida at home at night? It's a legit question. It's a legit question.
I agree. I again, if that was me,
I thought about that as soon as I
crawl in a hole and die.
Like, she would be like slithering out the side door, like never to be seen.
No, but that reporter, I mean, he went on.
He kept firing
after. Yeah, and he was like, that was me.
I know he owned it. He's like, hey, I'd ask it again. So,
well, he got good responses back on Twitter.
Oh, he did. He was not out of line. Look, if it were somebody asking something stupid, I would go, bro, you get what you deserve there. He didn't. He's That could have easily been us.
Welcome to SEC Reporters, Brian
Yeah,
Kelly.
there you
You're
go.
gonna get the hard questions, and you can't act like a little whiny baby.
So he's not really a Southerner. He just proved it there. He has no hospitality at all. By the way, I don't see Coach Freeze ever doing that to anybody in that.
Oh my gosh, he's too nice.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's not going to fire. He is not going to, like, if he got, I thought about that. If he got that question, he'd go, this would be what I would think Hugh Freeze would say. Hugh Freeze would go, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's probably some things we need to work on there. And yeah,
No, he would say he needs to go back and look at the film.
well, yeah, he would definitely.
That's what he would say.
Of course, but I definitely think he would take a much more docile approach than Brian Kelly goes, are you really asking this question? Like right out of the gate, I'm like, dude, calm down, bro. Like you are freaking out. It just, yes, we know you won the game, but calm down a little bit. Good God. So, but anyway, let's hit some more of our partners, and then we're going to call it a morning because imagine that. We got a busy day ahead of us. Old Number One Customs, and should be finished here in a couple of days, and we're going to have some video and some pictures for everybody. And so I will be a testimonial to Old Number One Customs. You can too. Call them at 334-752-6162 if you need a bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, outdoor living space remodel or built. They are the ones to do it. Call on them.
JFA Blue Plumbing, go ahead and get that Home Atlas water filter duo installed at the same time, because you cannot keep going in your life without filtered water. I mean, it's just so good for your internal and external health. So call on them at 844-JFA Blue. And Oliver Ross, while you're away, if you're having a watch party for the Oklahoma Auburn game, go ahead and get Oliver Ross out there to be your bartending service. Or if you're having tailgates throughout the year, go ahead and have Oliver Ross be your tailgating bartending service. And if you have any fraternity or sorority date parties, get them there. I know that they were just doing a fraternity date party, so call on them. They'll do your date parties, socials, anything.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Again, we appreciate all of you each and every day watching and tuning us in. No, some of you can't catch us live. So when you can't catch us live, you can watch it whenever you want to, and appreciate all of the support on our post-game show. Again, we try to book it across as fast as we can. We'll be coming to you live after the game in Norman, Oklahoma, this coming up Saturday, and hopefully it'll be a jubilant post-game show, but if not, we'll be on there anyway. And I don't know where we will be on the air from. It could be in a rental car like we were in Baylor. So we will see. If not, we'll be somewhere as fast as we can get on the air after we leave the presser. So go out there and hit like. It helps us a ton. Subscribe if you have not done that. We are on the cusp of 11,000 subscribers. So we really appreciate all of you so very much, very much. Another episode of On the Front Row with Faith came out this past week. Go check that out. Faith, you want to tell everybody real quick a little bit about that?
Yeah, Olivia Greaves, a 4-time Team USA team member. So she's a gymnast here at Auburn, a senior, super, super sweet girl. And yeah, you got to go listen to who she's trained with at the gyms, where she's competed at. Her sister's on the team. She's from New York. So you got to go listen to that because she's super interesting and has a lot, just a lot of cool stories.
I get the honor of being front row on your Front Row with Faith interviews and really like Olivia. And she was a great interview, and the stuff she's been through to get to where she is. I just thought you guys knocked it out of the park. So go check that out on the Front Row with Faith. You can go check it out on our YouTube channel out there as well. And again, we'll have more on the Front Row with Faith coming up over the next 6, 7, 8 months. We'll just keep on rolling them out. All different sports out there. Faith's going to have an opportunity to sit down with players from all the different sports. So, all right, it's going to wrap us up for this morning. Again, we appreciate all of you so very much. I'll let you send us out, Faith.
Hope everybody has the best week ever.
And be nice to somebody. Go out there and do some good things. Be the light for whoever it is out there. You never know, you can make a difference in somebody's life. Like Faith said, have a great day, and we will see